All right, here in the second part of our project instructions, we're going to take a look at what are you supposed to be doing with the check register. As you go through these transactions, you're not only putting journal entries into your accounting paper, at the same time, if it involves cash, you are going to use the check register as well. And so here in the very first transaction, where we purchase feed on account. So cash is not involved with this transaction. So let's go to the second transaction. Here we sold our services, a pony party, and we received $380 in cash. So here we did receive cash. So besides the journal entry, we are also going to have to put this on the check register. And here is our check register, and I've got the first few lines already filled out for you. Here's the beginning balance, which is $2,200. Where did I get that beginning balance? Well, the beginning balance came from these ending balances at the end of March becomes the beginning balance of the 1st of April. And under cash, which of course we know that cash means the checking account, okay, we have a balance of $2,200. So that's where that came from. Okay, then we put in the date of this new transaction, which is the 2nd of April. Under the transaction description, we're going to put the name of the person we received the money from, or if we wrote a check, the name of the person that we wrote the check to. So here we received money from Windy Lane, and it was $380. We have two columns to choose from. The check amount column, this is if we write a check, and the deposit, if we receive money, we're going to deposit it into the bank. And so Windy Lane, we received $380. We're going to deposit that, and so that's in the deposit column. Then I take my previous balance of $2,200, and if there's any deposits, I'm going to add that to it. If there's checks written, I subtract it. So the $2,200 plus the $380 is $2,580. That's my new running total balance in the checking account. The next transaction after that is the hauling costs, but that did not involve cash. That was put on a credit card. Okay. The next one, we're receiving cash, again, $5,000. We owe it back to the Small Business Administration, but we did receive $5,000 in cash. So once again, we go to the check register, we put in the date, April 3rd. Who did we receive the money from? The SBA, the Small Business Administration. And how much? That was $5,000. Since it's in the deposit section, I'm going to take my previous balance of $2,580 and add the $5,000, and so now I have $7,580. In the next transaction, we sold services on account to even though. So this did not involve cash, and neither did the hauling. So we continue on. Here's where we sold trail ride services, and we did receive cash for this of $180 from Sunny Day. And so here on April 5th from Sunny Day, we received the $180. We added it to our previous balance, so we now have $77.60. In the next YouTube video, we'll talk about payroll, but this is our first check that we're actually paying out, is a payroll check. And this is the net pay, $275.05, and it's being paid to Sally Sinclair. And so whenever we write a check out, we're going to put the check number in the check number column, and this was check number 2265. It was written on this April 6th. It was written to Sally Sinclair, and it was written in the amount of $275.05, and we're going to put that in the check amount column. Now I'm going to take the previous balance of $77.60 and I'm going to subtract any checks that we wrote. So I'm going to subtract the $275.05, and so now I have $74.84.95 as a running total balance in my check register. Once you have all the transactions that involve cash put into this check register, and you also post to the cash account in your general ledger, both of those numbers are the ins and outs of cash, the ins and outs of the checking account. And so this final number of this check register should be the same as the final running total balance of your cash account in your general ledger. And this check register is what you're going to use to compare to the bank statement to do your bank reconciliation form at the end of the month.